Brawl Stars and Digimon. This is the first concept on this channel, which is about a collaboration. This franchise has mechanics that can be very beneficial for Brawl Stars. Not only providing temporary content, but also permanent content in the game. This video is an introduction. I'll explain the idea in general terms. I'll talk more about the Digimon. And in future videos, we'll see more about the brawler, how he uses his Digivice, and the emblems. Let's take a look at the gameplay. You can now play with two characters, swapping them in-game. The brawler and his Digimon partner. The brawler will have a Digivice, which gives him access to new temporary abilities, such as allowing him to swap positions with his Digimon. Digimon are temporary brawlers. When they activate their hypercharge, called Digivolution, they change to their next stage. They have 3 stages: Rookie, Champion, and Ultimate. Important, having 3 evolutions may be too complicated. The idea sounds great, going through the 3 stages of the Digimon. On the other hand, if we look at the potential setbacks, such as imbalance and costly implementation, it can end up being a disaster. The first step to avoid problems is to use only 2 stages of the Digimon, Rookie and Champion. Let's see an example. For this case I use a Digimon with 3 stages. The selected team is B and Kyunman. We use the button to switch from BEA to Kyunman. I won't go into details like base damage and health. That's a very difficult aspect to plan for in the game. Its basic attack is the same in all stages, a short-range, area of effect attack. It has no secondary effects, just damage. Her gadget is aggressive flight. It deals damage to nearby enemies. If he's a champion stage or higher, he can fly for a period of time. The bar indicates the time limit. A Digimon has no star power. Its hypercharge is called Digivolution, changing to the next stage of evolution. Kyunman's super is Electro Thread. It fires a short-range beam that hits a single enemy and marks them. The effect is similar to Bell's super. The marked opponent receives additional damage from any source. Only one target can be marked at a time. This mark remains for 15 seconds. When he activates his hypercharge, he digivolves into Kowagamon. Kowagamon's super is Scissor Claw. Now his attack covers a medium-sized area, marking all enemies hit. From this stage you can mark more than one objective at a time. When activating its hypercharge, it digivolves into Okyuwomon. Okyuwomon's super is Duo Scissor Claw, which covers a slightly larger area and marks all enemies hit. When you activate your hypercharge, it only increases your stats, such as speed. In short, a Digimon is a brawler whose hypercharge effect is permanent, and whose super and appearance change multiple times. Note, these Digimons shouldn't be too complex or overly strong. Their abilities can be those already found in the game's brawlers, with slight modifications. This Digimon is similar to Bell. Doing this is quite complicated and expensive. If you ask me, it would require at least 2 events. Game modes, that must be done first. First event, bring multiple brawlers into certain game modes. There's no need to create temporary characters here. Current brawlers can be used. It consists of choosing up to 2 characters, which you can exchange in the game. How would you exchange them? As the developers want to do it. If you want some examples. 1. Via an extra button. 2. When you are eliminated in a match with the first brawler chosen. When you respawn you have the second brawler chosen. And so the cycle repeats. When you are eliminated again, you respawn with the first brawler. All to keep implementation as simple as possible. Note, imagine that the one in blue is another brawler existing in the game. The second event, which is a bit more difficult, involves including temporary brawlers, who can change form during the match. We'll call this evolving. Only these temporary characters are the ones you can choose as your second brawler. Temporary brawlers shouldn't be so complicated. Otherwise the event wouldn't make sense. I can understand what they wanted to achieve. However, they went a bit overboard here. This can be implemented in many ways. I'll give you an example. The three temporary characters are the bee, the cockroach, and the ladybug. Their 3D models are extremely simple. When everyone uses their hypercharge, their appearance changes and the super becomes stronger. The effects of hypercharge are permanent. Let's imagine we choose B and the bee. How do we change them during a game? The same as the previous event. As the developers see fit. In this example, with an extra button. The bee reuses a lot of BEA. Basic and unique gadget, they are identical. It super summons 3 bees, which protect an area. By using his hypercharge, he makes her evolve to stage 2. Now his super summons 3 bees and a hive. The hive loses health over time. Every 5 seconds it summons bees that attack anyone who approaches the area. The same would be repeated with the other 2. Ladybug can be like Rosa, basic, gadgets, with slight changes to her super. The cockroach can reuse aspects from any other brawler. If you're a keen observer, these characters consist of using a hypercharge, whose effects are permanent, modifying the brawler's super and appearance. This is just an example. In these types of events, you can take advantage of the opportunity to test mechanics for future brawlers. Likewise, my opinion here is to reuse as much as possible. If you've reached this point in the video and are wondering, why not just use the Digimon as a brawler? Why would I want to swap the brawler with the Digimon during the match? The answer is simple. That's one of the strange characteristics that an event of this type must test. If you see the Digimons are nothing more than a brawler, the one you control, while a more complex brawler than normal. Switching characters in the game is what could make the difference. This is something the developers do during events. For example, in Brawl Stars, in the Godzilla collaboration, they tested hypercharges. Likewise, if the event only includes the Digimons, that would be fine. But in a collaboration of this type, it would be a waste not to include the Digivice and Digimon emblems. After thinking it over, I think it would be better if the Digimon only had 2 stages. Having 3 stages sounds spectacular on paper. But in practice, it can be a nightmare. There are too many risks. My answer here is as follows. If you want to take a risk, there is a lot of motivation, then Digimon with 3 stages. If you want to be reserved, not risk too much, then Digimon with 2 stages. If you're completely crazy, or you've already implemented collaboration once and it had good results, Digimon with 4 stages. If you're curious, these concepts for Brawl Stars are inspired by Digimon Rumble Arena. One of the first ideas I had for this collaboration was that you could summon the companion Digimon in the game. Larry and Lori style, I quickly dismissed this idea. I don't think it's fun. Pressing a button and waiting for that bot to do the work. Or even worse, if the character you summon is excessively strong, it goes from boring to frustrating. It would be a waste to have a Digimon in Brawl Stars and not be able to control it. In my opinion, when I play Brawl Stars, I want to control at least 70% of the character's behavior. That's why I propose this mechanic. Changing characters during the game. The player decides who should be fighting at any given time. This concept can be taken and expanded upon to create other events and game modes, where a player can bring multiple brawlers. In other words, it's meant to be a permanent fixture in the game. In future videos we will see the Digivice, the emblems, the possible mega stage, Grankyuwaman. I won't talk about this for now, since with the ultimate stage, it's already quite complicated. Do you think it's a good idea, excessive, or too risky? Is the mega stage too good to be true? Let me know in the comments. What would you bring from the Digimon franchise to implement in Brawl Stars? Which Digimon would you include in the game? The next ones on this channel will be Tentomon, Doraemon, and Betamon. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe if you want to see more concepts and ideas for Brawl Stars and Squad Busters.